Here's Joel Chu. Slips that through. It's a great ball to Zikos Chua, who makes it 4. Oh, what another great goal.
Inetsu lifts it in behind. That's a lovely run from Tanaka, and he set one up again, this time for Sugita. They are absolutely running away with this.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of SPL Social, an online edition of course. Today we are joined by two more wonderful guests. We have from the Young Lions, I believe he's currently recovering from an injury. We've got Zikos Chua joining me as well. And of course from Albirex Niigata, who are flying high, on the table, we have Masahiro Sugita-san. Arigato, and thank you so much for joining me today on SPL Social, and of course taking the time because I know it's a very important part of the season now, so you're both probably very busy. So once again, thank you and welcome. And of course, this show is about the Singapore Premier League. We have, I think, 2 more weeks left until, we decide who's going to win the title. So very exciting couple of weeks. And let me know in the comments as well your predictions, who's going to win this year's title. So just a bit of a recap from you both. Zikos, how are you doing? Talk me through how your last couple of months have been.
All good, obviously. The past few months have been hectic with obviously the league going on, NS commitments and everything, and now obviously the injury. But everything's okay. Doing well. I'm fine.
Yeah, I hope that you have a speedy recovery as well soon. And also for Sugita-san, you have put in some very good performances for Albirex this season, right? So how do you feel about Albirex chances at winning the Singapore Premier League title?
I can be a champion by ourselves. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next match.
Yeah, the next match is a big one against Lion City Sailors. So how do you feel about that game? Because that's an important title decider, I would say, yeah.
Okay, セイラーズとの試合で勝てば、優勝が見えてくると思うので、本当に目の前の試合に、チーム一丸となって全力で戦っていきたいと思います。
And all the best for the game, and I'm sure all the fans out there will be watching. Okay, Zikos, for yourself, I don't want to start negative here, but I would love to know your thoughts about this. A lot of people out there have a lot to say about the Young Lions this season, and I know it hasn't been easy for you boys. I've watched some of the games. On the other hand, of course, the public does not know some of the stories behind it and also the hard work that I know that you guys put in. So I just want to get your opinions about the Young Lions so far, and you see it day in and day out. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think obviously it hasn't been a great season for us. So far, obviously it's coming to an end, and we're definitely not at the position we'd like to be in the table. I think when you asked us at the start of the season, we were a lot more optimistic. I think we could have definitely finished higher at the table, maybe 7th, or we could have been challenging at least. But yeah, I think it's tough from the outside to see. We have many players coming in and out of the squad constantly. The dynamic changes a lot within the squad as well, with new players coming in, trying to form new chemistry as well. Like I also just joined this year. And yeah, obviously it's not an excuse because I think for sure what I've been putting out is nowhere near our best. But it's definitely challenges that we have to go through. And I think as negative as it is easy to be, I think it's also a very positive experience because it helps a lot of the younger players especially who say are just introduced to the professional scene to, experience these things, the hardships, and, grow stronger from them mentally and physically. So, yeah.
And what you say about mentally strong, I think it's kudos to you guys for being able to be mentally strong. I know some of your teammates are actually, in national service, for example, still very young. So, I hope that you guys can continue to be motivated and, you don't look so much at the negative side because, there can be a lot of criticism and some of it is unwarranted. Okay, so we'll get to that, a little bit of the positive stuff in a bit. But Sugita-san, this one we have to ask because, Albirex players, everybody, wants to know what's going to happen usually at the end of the season. So can you share with me what are your future plans at the end of the season? Are you planning to stay in the Singapore Premier League or have other teams, already spoken to you or approached you?
将来のことはまだ全く決まってないし、本当にチームがあってのことなので自分も、まずは次の一戦に 一戦一戦戦って将来どうなるかっていうところだと思うので、目の前を一生懸命いきたいと思います。
Okay, and of course, we wish you all the best with that. And then I go to my next question. Since we are at the tail end of the Singapore Premier League, what do you, Sugita, enjoy the most about the league so far? What was your favorite moment, from the entire season?
セイラーズとの試合です。
I heard sailors. That's all I heard. So I'm sure, yeah, we will get the translator to give us the subtitles later on. Zikos, I wanted to ask you this for a while because I've been reading about your career and your background, and I think you're such an interesting personality because you come from a mixed heritage firstly, and you grew up in Greece, I believe, right? So take us through what was that like? I mean, you turned pro in the SPL. I would love to know about that. If you can share with us a bit about that.
What it was like just living there or
and coming
growing up.
And coming here to Singapore, the change that you saw.
I think the biggest thing I had to adapt to when I first came was probably the school. Not to say that the school in Greece is not good, but I think at a younger age especially, it's a bit more laid back rather. There's a bit less focus on results and all that. So when I came here at a pretty hard time as well, like I think I was P5. It was quite tough, and the jump to like reading everything in English was quite tough. But on the footballing side, I think not much changed. I think when you're a kid, you just anywhere you are, really, you just enjoy playing football with whoever it is. It's a good way to make a lot of friends, and I think that helped a lot when I first came. So and turning pro here was, I think I say, a dream come true. Given the chance that at a very young age, I was very blessed, and I think I can look back and be very happy with how I grew up in both Greece and Singapore. Yeah.
And going back to your time in Greece, you grew up in a small, like you were saying in the interview, was a kampong sort of town. So it's not like a city, right? It's not like I don't know, Santorini or Mykonos or something, right? It's a different kind of island.
No.
Was it? Or
it's not an island. It's quite far inland. It's near the borders with Albania.
Okay.
It's about, I think my town had maybe 20,000 people or something like that. The municipality itself has like 50,000, I think. So it's a very small community rather. And it's so different from Singapore. But it's a very beautiful place. So when it comes to natural beauty, I think I'd have to go with that part.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Greece has its perks as well. And I think it's always nice to have, I would say, sort of a mixed kind of background, because it gives you a nice sort of entryway when you come to Singapore, and you can really make a difference. Okay, Sugita, this question we get a lot about from the fans, but this one I'm going to ask you myself. Who is your best friend at Albirex, and why? Because I know some of them will be watching this. They will hope that you say them, but tell me who is your best friend?
Number 13, Masahiro Sugita.
Why don't you always hang out together or?
一緒にいることが長くて、よくどっか出かけたりとかしてるので、はい。
Okay, and for yourself, Zikos, I know you got a lot of good friends in Young Lions. Some of them have sent some questions, so now I want to know who is your best mate in the squad.
I'd say I have a few. I think I'm very close to Jared, Glenn, Harris, Jordan, Kayum. All of those guys are great. But I think I get along well with everyone in the squad.
So take us through how a regular match week would be. Let's say if you had a game on the weekend, right? So I would presume that you guys have a very short period of time to actually train together, or how does that work?
I think we'll usually have like a gym session early in the week, probably the first session after the previous match day. And we'll have a few training sessions leading up to the game, a shorter one before the match, and obviously the match day. And it's a bit tough sometimes because people miss here and there due to commitments with school or NS, but generally it's the same every week.
Okay, and then speaking of the training, I wanted to ask, since you play as a forward, which is quite a competitive position in the national team, and in general, it's quite a glamorous one, right? Everybody wants to play in your position. So how do you motivate yourself to stay focused, and yeah, getting that mental state good?
Yeah, for sure. I think when it comes to striker, you're essentially judged by goals, right? And I think to keep myself motivated, I just set small goals, try to focus on improving every game, looking at the positives, looking at the negatives, and trying to improve upon them. Because I think no matter how many goals you score, there's always parts of your game you can do better. So I think a lot of it is self-motivation. Obviously, definitely a very competitive position in the national team, but I think it all comes down to hard work and obviously focus and all that. So I think hopefully one day I do get there.
Hopefully one day. Okay, and of course, we wish you all the best with that. Okay, so now we are going to go to the fun part of the show, which is all the fan questions. So thank you so much to everybody who has been sending, fan questions. So Sugita, we've got a fan question for you. And okay, I already asked you this, but from Marcus 007110, are you aiming to join one of the clubs in the J League?
自分自身、日本で育ってきて、J リーグでやりたいっていう夢があるので、その夢を叶えたいです。
Okay, and from Swan Army 19, who is a big Albirex fan, he wants to know who is the fastest player in training besides you?
第一。
So,
シャークティー。
oh, okay. Now you change your.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. I hope that he's happy that you said that. Okay. Thank you very much. And of course now, Zikos, you've also got your fair share of questions, and now I'm laughing at them because it's
making me a bit nervous.
No, it's okay. Okay, Muhammad Ihsan wants to know who's the best player you ever played with.
I ever played like on the same team.
Yeah, I mean, in the same team.
I think I go for Barry Maguire when I was in Geylang.
Ah.
I think when he came in, obviously he had a pedigree, having played like in the Europa League in Eredivisie as well, and you could see it every day. Like his quality was different. Definitely one of the best players I've played against.
Definitely, yeah. And speaking of that, from Kelvin Zihui, he wants to know, well, are you planning to rejoin Geylang next season?
I think it's definitely on the cards. Obviously, for now, I'm more focused on the recovery from the injury. So we'll see what happens. You never know.
Oh, you never know. Yeah, football is always changing. Okay, so we look forward to seeing what happens with you next season. Sugita-san, this one is a SPL Social question. I hope that you're ready to answer this. What is your favorite local food?
Murtabak.
No way, really?
Oh.
Even Zikos is shocked. Chicken or
interesting?
Yeah.
Chicken or chicken.
Chicken murtabak. So you eat it with curry or dry? You prefer? Curry. Okay, so where is your favorite murtabak place in Singapore? Where do you go to eat murtabak?
Zam Zam.
Sorry, I'm laughing because like my family always orders from Zam Zam the murtabak. So, and okay, thank you for that. Okay, Sarita is the first one who didn't say chicken rice. Zikos, for yourself, I'm sure that you've got your Greek salad and everything, but I'm not expecting you to say that.
Of course.
So you've got do you have a pre-match meal or preference for local food that you like?
For a pre-match meal, I'll go with the boring like pasta answer, But when it comes to local food, I think on a cheat day, a nasi lemak is pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I think that's for sure. That's the thing about local food. I mean, it always fills you up and it's quite relatively affordable as well. Okay, so Sujita-san, we've got a question. See again. Let me just see. Okay, from Confederal. Thank you so much, Confederal, for your question. He wants to know, Sujita-san, how do you train to be running for 90 minutes plus almost every game? Because you're very fit, I'm assuming he's saying. So how do you train to get yourself, at this tip-top level?
一日一日の練習で全力で 100%出し切るっていうところを意識しています。
Okay, and from this question from Willie PD. What do you and your teammates like to do during your free time?
Cafe. I often go to the cafe and watch a movie.
Watch a movie, okay. As in go to the cinema and watch a movie or Netflix.
Netflix, yes.
Okay. I don't want to know who's the one with the Netflix subscription. I'm sure it's one of the one of the boys. Okay. Zikos, back to you. I think this might be one of your friends, but I also want to know as well. Like Shafiq wants to know, how was your time during secondary school football?
It was amazing. I think. I love secondary school football a lot because I think it's a bit different to the SPL. Like, of course, you have your family and friends watching, but you're playing a lot more for pride. I feel like you want to make your school you want your school name to be up there with the champions, and you have your schoolmates and your friends watching, the teachers. I think it's a very fun atmosphere as well. So I think it was a great fun. Yeah.
Okay, and so this brings me to my next point about fun, because two of your mates have sent in questions which I kind of need to ask you. Okay, so the first one is from your good friend Jared Gallagher. He wants to know what's your secret to the hair care, your hair care. And Haris has Haris has chimed in and said, "Why is it your goal to go to Turkey one day?" I'm guessing it's a mate thing, but is it because Greece and Turkey are sort of having a rivalry somewhere?
Not really. Harris has his reasons, which I don't think I'll say. But as for Jared, he's been very vocal about my hair and that I should do something about it. So has Harris, but to that I'll say no comment. I think no comment.
No, you need their advice. I mean, like you guys got to hit up all those barbers and get like a nice one of those baller cuts.
A nice trim, yeah.
A nice trim, okay. But this is like not my area of expertise. So thank you very much to to Haris and also Jared for sending. And Jared was actually a guest as well on the show. So it's always nice to hear from our, I would say, alumni of SPL Social. Okay, Sugita-san. Okay, this is another one as well from your teammate. Again, Zamani. I think you know Zamani-san. And he talked about food. He asked, do you like carrot cake? Carrot cake. Really?
I like carrot cake.
Why?
I eat carrot cake with Zamani.
It's not, isn't it like very fried? No, it's unhealthy. It's okay for you?
Sometimes, okay.
And speaking of family, Zikos, is very important, right? The family support. So how has the family support been for you in your career as a young footballer trying to make his mark?
Yeah, I think it's been extremely important. I think it's always nice to have your parents backing you. Like in Singapore, I'd say going to professional sports is a bit of an unorthodox path, which many parents might advise against. But I think my parents have been nothing but supportive, and through long injuries, through bad performances, they've always been there, and it really helps, like to keep you, obviously mentally healthy, and to keep going, keep working hard. Because in the end, I think they are one of the people that you love to make proud of and have a smile on their face after matches. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of which, I just wanted to know, because we always have this language thing in SPL Social every week. So since I'm sure you can speak some Greek, and I'm going to ask Sugita as well for some Japanese, but can you teach us how to say like a motivational word in Greek, like vamos or something?
Yeah, I think because I don't speak Greek a lot ever since I left, so I think I may not be completely accurate, but we usually say like ade or pame, like psych ourselves up. It's like come on,
come on. Okay, yeah. But you don't say that in Young Lions because everyone's gonna be like, what? Or do you say it sometimes? No.
Who knows? I don't. I stick to English for the most part. Yeah.
Okay, great. So there we have it. We've learned a new word this week, guys, from Zikos, our resident guest today. So it's ade, right? How do you spell it? ADE.
Yeah.
Ade. Okay, thank you, Zikos.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Okay, and Sugita, do you have like a motivational word that you always say before a game in Japanese? You can teach us. And I hear it every week, a different one. But do you have a word in that you tell your teammates before the kickoff, or maybe I don't know, not
頑張って。
Gambate. Okay, yeah, that one is nice. So you say to Kodai so he can score more goals now. just kidding. Okay, because both of you are young and young professional players. So just because many young players watch the show and they also are looking at some advice. So Zikos, start with you first. What advice do you have for young players who want to pursue this career path, as a professional footballer?
I think probably first and foremost is to work hard on your craft. Always put in your 100% effort and to be adaptable. I think to be very open and susceptible to feedback, because I think no matter how good you are, you can always improve. And I think as a young player, you really need to be very open to advice and everything.
Okay, and Sugita-san, for yourself, what advice do you have for young players watching you, and saying, I want to be like Sugita also? Advice.
サッカーに集中できる環境だと思うし、本当に日本とは違う文化に触れることもできるので、そういった意味で視野が広がるかなと思います。
Okay, and also before I go, I wanted to ask you all, before we go to the messages part, who's like your favorite local footballer in the SPL so far in this current season, and also international player? Zikos, we'll start with you first.
Oh, this current season?
Yes.
Local player, I think Ilhan has been doing an amazing job at Albirex. Yeah.
International player. I agree with Ilhan, by the way. International as well, yeah.
International, like this season?
Just in general, even an overview as well.
For me, I think my favorite player has always been Ronaldo. Yeah.
The
just
Portuguese one? Or
the Cristiano. Yeah,
Cristiano, CR7, yeah.
Just his aura and his, just everything about him is.
Yeah. Fair play.
Is to look up to. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great player, off and on the pitch as well. Sugita-san, favorite local player, you mentioned some already, but this season, who has been the best from other teams also can?
Geylang number 10.
Wow. Who is that? Who's Geylang number 10? Sakuma, is it? No. The name?
Bezigo.
Oh, Bezigo. Okay, yes. The playmaker, I think he's been fantastic. Yeah, sorry, I'm not good with numbers. I just know. Okay, because we had Bezico on the show as well. So yeah, I think he's been phenomenal. And he did score some recently as well. Okay, and international players. Any favorite international player? Can be Japanese also, from the Japan national team. Anyone?
Eden Hazard.
Wow, Eden Hazard. Okay, I mean, he's been injured, but hopefully he comes back soon.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, for joining me today. And of course, before we go, can we get a message from each of you both to the fans of the Singapore Premier League? We'll start with you first, Zikos.
Thank you for supporting us. And as the season draws to a close, I hope we have a good show and keep supporting us. Thank you.
Yeah. And also for you, Sugita, a message for all the fans of the SPL.
たくさんの応援ありがとうございます。いつも本当にその応援が支えになって、自分の活力にもなってますし、本当に原動力になってます。Thank you for your support.
Thank you, arigato. And thank you so much to both Zikos and Sugita for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. And of course, we wish you all the best for the upcoming season, and we'll be following both of you in your careers as well. Thank you very much. My name is Asha Shin from Footballita, and of course, do stay tuned for the rest of SPL Social. See you.